Yo, what's up, everybody? Uh, I'm your man, Big Brandon Carter, and I'm here with my boy. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. The homie, Jason Capital. What up, Jason?
What's up, man? Hanging out with you on Friday. What could be better right now?
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's listen, man. That higher status got rave reviews, man. Y'all leave a comment, man. Let everybody know what y'all thought of it, man. Because that book got rave reviews. How long did it take you to put that book together, man?
You know, it's funny. I came back from the gym earlier today, and I was literally thinking about that. Like, how long has it been? And it's been almost an entire year, because it was about last August around this time that I made the decision that I was going to turn my status training into a book. So it took a year. It took almost a year. But the whole writing process for this was It was like 3 intense months. It wasn't terrible. It was 3 intense months.
Were you doing anything else, or was it like a one thing kind of thing? You know.
That's what's funny. No, I was doing a ton of other things. It was Tuesday, Thursday. I blocked off my calendar, and from sun up till sundown, it was like drink a fuck ton of coffee, and just write. You know, no interruptions. Like when I write, one thing I do, and this is helpful for anyone, is it puts you in like the flow state a little bit faster. Is I listen to one song the whole day, like just one song on repeat the whole time. Have you ever done that?
Nah, you know, is it song? I can't listen to. I used to play music, so like you see a guitar up there, and you know, I used to be a producer and shit. And I started like the music distracts me. I start thinking about the intervals and the chord drum patterns, and I start thinking about the music. So I listen to static when I'm.
So wait, so everyone on this webinar, can you guys hear me and Brandon is frozen? If that's correct, just like let me know in the chat box so I know what's up. Okay, good go. All right, so Brandon just texted me. He's gonna log off and he's gonna come back on. So I guess while I got all of you here, the first thing I want to say is I want to thank each and every one of you for actually picking up my book. Obviously, the only way you're on this webinar with me and Brandon is because you invested in the book. So I hope you got a ton out of it. I hope it has done like magnificent things for you already in your relationships, your confidence, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you see things, the way people see you, all those things that matter so much. So I hope it's done that. If you're starting to like get it going, or if you're kind of on the way up, keep pushing forward. All I can tell you is my own experiences and working with. There he is.
I'm back. Hey man, what I missed, man. You know what? All right, so what happens is like I'm at my home office and not at the office because I had to come here and do some shit. And the internet here is not so great, you know. So like, but I'm good now. I tethered it to my phone and I'm straight.
You good? No, you left, it froze, and then I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, is it frozen? Both of us? Is it just him? And then everyone was like, hey, Jason, keep talking. We can actually hear you. So I was just in the process of thanking everyone for picking up the book. That was it.
Yeah, man. Like the book, man. So look, man, higher status. If y'all haven't read it yet, man, make sure y'all read it. You know, one of my favorite chapters was one on like state and state control. I think I found out about state when I was like 17. I read Tony Robbins, Waking the Giant Within, and I was like, oh shit, this is a thing, you know. And then like I started applying that to my life. And then you know when you start learning about pickup, you know that's in a lot of pickup doctrines and stuff. What does state mean to you? How'd you learn all this shit, man? Matter of fact, those of y'all don't know Jason like how the fuck did you learn all this shit in the book, man? He's a smart dude.
That's a good question. So I wish I could be like, when people used to ask me that shit, dude, I used to have a funny answer. I'd be like, man, I ate all my vegetables when I was a kid. Like that was my thing. I ate my veggies. People were like, how you get so good looking? I ate vegetables when I was a kid. How you so smart? I ate my veggies when I was a kid, man. You know, your mom's like, eat your broccoli and you don't eat it. I ate it. That's the difference. No. So it's a good answer. It's not a true answer though. Man, if you could see the office around here though, you would see books. You would see thousands and thousands of books. I know I've seen pictures of your office with your books, and it's, you know, and then there's that guy in LA with his garage and he's got books in there. Man, you notice, I mean, you tend to notice a common theme amongst people who know a bunch of stuff. And it's there's not a lot of value, as you know, in knowing a bunch of shit. Like is it applicable shit? Is it shit that's gonna, or are you just learning shit so you can, you know, be talking with your boys and you can like say some smarter shit than them so you think you're like better than they are? Like it's all about action and stuff. So man, I study. The other key thing I do is I always purposely surround myself with dudes who are further ahead than me, smarter than me, know more than me, people who make me feel stupid. That's what I look for.
Right.
And you know, like I'm sure you see it even with your friends or with your students and your customers. When you tell them this kind of stuff, a lot of them, they get resistant to it because it's an ego thing. We're dudes. We got big egos. For us to hang around a guy who's better than us, we feel small. We bring our girl to meet that guy, and it's you and your girl and this guy, and he's smarter than you, and you're sitting there, and you're like, a fucking girl likes this guy right now because we got this ego thing, right? But man, if you can set that shit aside, you don't understand. Like if he's 10 years ahead of you, and you get a month with him where you can see him often, and you can pick his brain, and you can absorb him, you're gonna be at his level in a month. Otherwise, it's gonna take you 10 goddamn years to get there too. So it's like set aside the ego for the short term, so the long term you could be the fucking man.
You know what? A lot of guys, when they start reading stuff like a lot of your material or like other guys' material, they miss that part, man. Because what happens is they try to forgive me if you hear the train going by in New York. You know, they miss that part and they try to out alpha everybody everywhere they go, and they try to be like I got to be the man everywhere. But like I don't know if this is the right term, but like it can be advantageous to beta yourself. I don't know if that's the right word, but to like not, you don't have to be the fucking alpha all the time, I think, man. But what's your take on that shit?
I'm with you 100%. You want to be like water. It's like Bruce Lee said, right? Sometimes you want to be the fucking alpha. Sometimes, I don't know if beta is the right word. You want to know how to be know how to be a student, right? Know how to be coachable, right? And it's like it's law number one, right? Never outshine the master.
Never outshine the master, man.
Yeah, you got
it. That's my favorite one. I mean, that's my favorite one. You know, like I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off, but I just want to say something to what point you would say. I didn't notice until we met up last time, but we have one of the same like mentors, man, like Elliot Holst. He got us. You told me how he helped get you started and mentored you. Same shit with me. And when people ask me shit, oh man, Elliot, you know what I'm saying? Elliot, how I got the path from, because I always want to give him the props as being like he's the master. He was the one who like really put me on, and when he didn't have to.
How did you guys first connect? How did that happen?
You know what? I was like, you know, making YouTube video. I wasn't taking it seriously, but I was like one of the dudes putting up fitness YouTube shit around the time he does it. So I guess we knew of each other, and he like got bigger faster because he was taking it seriously before I was taking it serious. To me, man, I was using YouTube the way it was initially intended, like, you know, like a fucking guy throwing up shit. Like I was using it like a consumer. It just so happened some of these videos got popular. You know what I'm saying? Like I was using it like and where he was treating it like a business. You know, he took it seriously, and one day he just followed me on Instagram. Like I was like, what the fuck? Hell no. And then I followed him back and I DM'd him and said, oh man, I'm a fan. And then he's like, here's a cool thing, man. He said, I'll be in New York sometime. And I was like, all right, cool. He came to New York, and it was right when he hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And he ended up, so he came to my area in Queens because it was on his way to where he was going, Long Island or some shit. And I got him a box of his favorite cigars as a gift for getting 1 million subscribers, right? And then, but like, yo, here's the thing, Elliot is alpha, right? He's an alpha male. He's a big dog, and he's, you know. But when he came into my domain, he wasn't trying to be like, yo, man, I'm Elliot fucking Holst, strength camp motherfucking kicking chairs and slapping cigars about. He was like asking me for, hey, what should we do? What you go with? What's the best shit? It like he allowed me to be the leader in that sense, and that humility you see even in people at the top. You know, I think, yeah.
100%. Yeah. I heard the best definition of humility and being humble the other day. And it was perfect. It was that being humble, because there's a lot of misconceptions about what it means to be humble. You tell someone to be humble, they're like, so you mean like you want me to sit down, bitch? Like Kendrick Lamar, be humble, right? Like let you walk let you walk all over me. You want me to let someone else shine while I stay in the background? Like being humble simply means two things: one, knowing your limitations, and two, not being afraid to ask for help. That's it. So if you know your circle of competence, so if you know to know your limitations, you have to know your circle of competence, right? You need to know where those limits, where those edges. And you stay in your lane, you stay in your circle. While you're in your circle, you could be the most arrogant bastard on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, it's like MJ being like, I'm the best fucking basketball player. Like, you can't stop me, right? On the court. But, put me on a baseball diamond and I'm going to strike out every time. I'll admit it. I don't give a shit. That's outside of my limitations. Yeah. And I can admit that. So that's just, I don't know. I was just thinking about that. But with Elliot, man, it's the way I met him was I was 20. And I had my basketball business, which I didn't have my basketball business. I was a college basketball player in St. Petersburg, Florida, at a tiny little school called Eckerd College. It was a D2 school. Had 1,200 kids at the whole school, and I was miserable there. I was totally miserable. I was done with basketball. I was burnt out. I wanted to do something else. And I heard these tires being thrown around a block away at this garage gym. And it was the off season, and I needed somewhere to train. So I just went there one day, and I had heard about this Elliot Hulse guy. He wasn't popular on YouTube. This is 2008. This was 10 years ago. But I walk into this garage gym. I'm a little skinny, scrawny dude. I'm already intimidated. And I walk in, and there is a dude with purple hair doing deadlifts of like 405 pounds, just popping them off. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? And that was Ryan McGinn, who you know as well. And that's the first time I met Ryan. So I talked to Ryan, and we ended up talking. We became bros. Went to a strip club that night. We kind of broed out. The next day, he brings me back to the gym to meet Elliot. And Elliot, I'm expecting him to flip tires, throw kegs, all the shit he does, but he's not. What's he doing? He's sitting on his little attic of this garage gym, hacking away at his keyboard like this with his big ass traps, just like. And every time I go back, he's just doing this, not lifting weights. He's just typing. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm writing my first ebook. I was like, what is it?
You were there from the beginning.
Yeah. I was like, what's an ebook, dude? He's like, it's this PDF. You sell it. Here's how you do it. Here's how you build an online business. You should do it too. And for anyone listening right now, if someone's ever been like, yo, you should do this, like you can do this, understand that it is very normal for you to resist the call at first. Like, so when he told me you should do it, my initial response was, that's not for me. Like, why would anyone buy an ebook from me? Why would anyone listen to me?
Why would I buy something from you?
Exactly. I'm 20. I play college basketball. Yeah. Like what, but he explained to me, he was like, well, here's what you have to understand, dude. You play college basketball. You were cut from the 9th grade basketball team. And then by your senior year in high school, you're this all-star, you're getting a scholarship. Like, that's a big transformation. Whatever you did to go from cut to scholarship, you need to teach that to other high school kids because they want to know that same thing. And I was like, you're right, man. So a few months later, I put out my first ebook. And after I learned some marketing, I got other mentors who taught me how to market. Elliot gave me that first spark. They taught me how to market. And I went from $0 to $20,000 a month in the first month. So I was 20
in the first month.
In the first month.
Congratulations, man.
It was dope.
Hold on, let me turn. I gotta turn this light. It's getting dark. Hold on. I'm sure we're gonna have some follow-up questions about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was 20. I was at Michigan State at that time, and that was the time where I was really like deep in the game. So I'm like learning.
Almost went to Michigan State, bro. Almost went to Michigan State.
Is that
for college, yeah, because they won the Final Four that year. I applied. I was like, oh, that's good. At the last minute, the week before, I changed my mind and went to Howard University in DC because I heard they had 12 girls for every dude. Like that's what I based my decision on. But anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no. Hey, if you're gonna waste your time at college, at least do it in a place with 12-1. That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like the mods.
So I was there, and I'm like that. I was like deep in the game. I stopped going to class. All I did was like work on my game and go out. I was going out twice a day. I was doing 2 days, and I had this side online business, and money started coming in. And I took that first $20,000 and I went to a used car dealership and I bought a Audi A4 Cabriolet convertible. And I paid him. He was like, "So are you interested? Do you want it?" And I pulled the check out of my pocket, and I was like, "Here you go, give me keys." Because I think I'm pretty sure I heard in like a Rick Ross song or like a Paul Wall song or something like that, where he was like wrote a check, bought a drop, and I was like, "Man, I want to do that. Write a check, buy a drop. That sounds great, man." So that's what I did. He got me. He totally got me.
Got you. Yeah. Well, hey, what you consume, you know, like it influences you.
So much so, man. And that's you know, and we talk about in the book a lot about like you gotta really go on like an information diet. You gotta starve yourself of certain things in there. Like even like here's the thing. Like anytime you go to like a gym that's like a nice gym, like even a 24-hour fitness and Equinox, any of these places, they have TVs on all the treadmills. They have TVs up everywhere. And what do they always have by default?
News.
I
see news. Yeah.
Yes. And here's what's fucking fascinating about this. CNN actually has an agreement with gyms across the country and with senior assisted living homes, all these different places to make sure that their channel is the default on everyone's TV station.
Really? In the airports too, I'd imagine, right?
100% airports, yeah. Same thing.
Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy. So, but even if you're just walking by and you don't consciously see it, guess what? Your brain's on point. Your brain is smarter than you think. So it's recording everything. So if that stuff's getting in, man, it's gonna come out some way, like one way or another. So you got to be very careful what influences you let in.
You got to be really careful, man. You know, yeah, man, because that shit influences you, man. Like, it influences your decision making. You know, like people don't make rational decisions, man. They make decisions based off like emotions or subconscious shit. You know, like it's rarely rational. Like we think that shit, and so that's why you got to be even more careful. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that shit is going to be default. You know.
Exactly, and so there's one of the biases, the availability bias, which is which basically states that things that we can more easily retrieve from our memory, we regard as higher value. So it's not is the thing higher value or lower value? Is it valuable? Is it not valuable? It's how easy was it for me to think about it? Was it fresh on my mind? If it's fresh, we give it more weight. If it's hard to remember, we give it less weight. So if you just saw some shit on CNN or something the day before, that's fresh in your mind. It's not that it's actually important. It's not that it's like valuable to you. It's just fresh in your mind. So unconsciously, you're giving it more value than it deserves. So that's why it's like it's you got to be careful, man. And here's the thing: we can't be completely devoid of like all this shit. Like we got to live our lives. I still got to go to the gym. We're gonna see stuff. So it's so important to learn about how your brain works and learn all the little biases and all the ways that it will trip you up if you don't know the truth about it. So, man, like if you read Charlie Munger's book.
No, okay, man. This is like the 5th time this book has come out, man, and I have not read it. Poor Charlie's Almanac, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
I gotta get it.
No, I'm not. You don't have to read the book. Like you can read the book. You don't have to read the book, but you can go online and you can get this talk he gave in 1994, 95, and it was the Psychology of Human Misjudgment is the name of this talk.
You know, my boy Derek from RSD, he's not a famous RSD dude. He's the one you never hear about. And he was there from the beginning, man. And he has like a huge business outside of RSD. He just does that shit for fun. He's like a baller, man. And he always talks about this talk that you're talking about on YouTube. Yes. I'm sorry, continue.
That's it. Yeah. Like, dude, I know. Like, I see you on Instagram. You take like your morning run, your morning walk, or whatever. Pop it out tomorrow morning. You'll see. You're gonna be like,
I'm with it.
Yeah, you're gonna be running through Central Park, and you're gonna stop. Like, fuck, I gotta write that down. It's smart.
I gotta write that down. Yeah. So it's deep. It's like that, huh? It's deep.
You will. Yeah, all the shit I'm talking about. Like, not everything I've said, of course, came from that, but like things like I wouldn't have known to study the cognitive biases and the availability bias and all this shit if it hadn't been for that talk. That was my gateway drug to knowledge. All right.
Well, yeah. What was it Elliot putting you on, or is that when you started like reading and studying a lot, or was that something you always did?
Dude, I like that story where I was saying where I got cut from the freshman team, right? And then I actually I fucking finagled my way back onto the team. I met with the coach like 8 times and talked to him to let me be number 16 on the squad. But that's a true story. I got cut, and then I got a scholarship 4 years later to legitimate, like a good school who went to the NCAA tournament. How the fuck would that happen, right? Like that shouldn't happen. That's like that. Like what?
I wouldn't bet on that shit. Yeah.
No. And if you had seen me when I got cut, bro, first of all, I'm young for my age, so like I was always the youngest kid in my class. So I didn't physically develop until after I left high school. So I was like scrawny kid. I had no joke, I had an 11-inch vertical jump. 11. So that's appalling for anyone who doesn't like know numbers of that. That is terrible.
Yeah. So I can't even imagine. Like
I couldn't jump. I was slow as fuck. I could shoot.
Why do you even want to play basketball?
Right? It's not. That's not really taking a clear input of my strengths and making us smart. It was a dumbass decision, right? It was only because everyone told me I couldn't do it. So I'm like, fuck you guys, I got to do this. And so what did I do? I studied the shit out of basketball and training. I became a personal trainer, right? I studied like Eric Cressy and Joe DeFranco and Kelly Baggy and all these guys in the sports training industry who are kind of popular now. And I worked on my body and I worked on my game. I worked on my handles. And I read, there was a book about Steve Nash called Long Shot. It was his biography. And I must have read that shit 500 times. That was like my motivation. So I was always a student of getting better. That's like my key thing. Like, have you ever heard Tony Robbins talk about how we all have a primary question?
No, I don't know if I heard that. I don't think so.
It's one of his like newer things in the last like 10 years or so that he's kind of like big on. But he basically says that, like we've all heard like the Napoleon Hill idea that like what we think about most of the time we become. It's like Earl Nightingale is saying just secret. So what Tony did, which is smart to me, is he's like, man, it's not just the dominant thought, because where do the thoughts come from? They're answers to questions. So it's not the dominant thought, really. He goes, we all have this unconscious question that we ask more than any other. It's this dominant question, and it's our primary question. And that determines what we think, what we talk about, how we look at everything, how we respond to situations. It's everything. He tells a story. He went New York. He went to this, but he's at this seminar, and he's sitting front row, and he was already like big Tony Robbins back then, but he's still learning. He's getting better. And he's sitting there, and there's 50 people in the audience, and they're all just like bored, not really taking notes. And he's in the front row like this, just scribbling like crazy, taking note after note after note. And they meet after the day's over, and everyone around him was like, Tony, it's great to meet you. And then everyone was like, but dude, what were you writing down? Like, you took so many notes on it. What were you writing down? And he was like, what was I writing down? I don't know. And he looks at his notes, and he's like, why did I do this? Why did everyone just kind of enjoy it? And I just kept coming up with ideas. And he realized it's because he has this unconscious question, his primary question, which is, how can I make this better? And that's the question he asks over and over and over. Everything he's doing, right? He's sitting there at the seminar. How can I make my business better? How can I make my seminars better? And he's getting ideas from that, right? I imagine he's with his wife in bed. He's having some fun with her. He's like, man, how can I make this better, right? He's always like, how can I make this better? That's his primary
constant improvement, yeah.
Yes, Kaizen, yeah. So the problem is, though, you look at most people, their primary question is not how can I make this better? Their primary question is usually some type of victim-based question. Why does this always happen to me? Why does my life suck so much, right? And you can always tell the victim people, because they're the ones. I don't know if anyone's ever said this to you. Anyone says this to me, I get so pissed off, man. They go, must be nice. That one. Must be nice. I'm like, motherfucker, do you have any idea how hard I worked to get here? It must be nice. Dude, it must be nice to be lazy. I don't know what that's like. Tell me about that. Yeah.
I don't get that much anymore. Probably like years ago, man, because there was a point, but it was right. I remember this right before I met Elliot. I started to feel like I was my most successful friend, and everybody was like coming to me for advice, and I was like the guy, and that's fine. But I didn't like most people like feeling like the man. I felt like, fuck, man. Who do I ask for advice? You know what I'm saying? Who do I, not even on some needy shit. It's like where I'm trying to go. I outgrew my circle. And it's not that they're not cool guys. Like I just don't kick it with a lot of them anyway, just because we're not on the same shit, man. Like they'll tell me about some you know, they'll be telling me about some shit that I'm not on no more, and I can't talk to them about what I'm doing, right? You know, like, yeah, man, I'm on a world tour, just came from Australia, but Australia, London, man. You get that raise you was talking about, like, we don't resonate with each other anymore. So, like, yeah, I don't really get that anymore because my friends are either people who are like successful or, you know, or on the path. Like, my employees are, like, I consider my friend, and they're on the path to success. And, you know, other people, you know, like people who I've totally surrounded myself with everyone around. No, there's no those kind of people you're talking about. I don't fuck with it. I just don't have any victims in my circle, and that's deliberate. You know, it's been like that for a long time.
Of course. Well, dude, they're like, because they're vampires, man. They like they get in your territory and they just dig in and they get blood and they don't let go, man. So yeah, they bring you down. They suck the energy and the life force and your spirit out of you. Yeah. So like it's key. So
you become like the people you're around.
100%. Yeah. Like, I mean, we all know that quote, like, you are the 5 people, etc. Like, I love Dan Pena. He's always like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Like that. Yeah. And here's the problem. And I said this, I had a big seminar a couple of weeks ago. There were 400 dudes from 20 countries.
I missed it, man. I'm sorry, bro.
And by the way, I'm gonna text you after this the dates for next year's, because for everyone listening, Brandon's gonna be speaking.
I want it in. I want it in there, man. You know what I'm saying?
So, but anyways, so I'm there and I'm telling them, I'm talking about this. We're talking about environment, and we don't just like tell them. There's exercises we do. In fact, I'll share the exercise with everyone here so everyone can take this home and you can do it after the webinar. But the big key message is, I was like, how many people here have heard that quote? Show me your friends, I'll show you your future, or you are the 5 people you hang out with. And I'm like, raise your hand if it is. And every person raises their hand. And I'm like, okay, so everyone here knows it. Here, how many people actually live it? How many people have actually changed their environment, have edited relationships or deleted people from their life as a result? And none of them do it. And the ones that do, they do a little bit, right? Because everyone there is like, they do the exercise and they're like, wait, I got to get rid of that person. Like, I got to break up with my friend here. Like, you got to divorce some of your friends and shit. And that's hard. But you got to decide, how important is your future? How important is what you want to do in life?
Maybe I'm a psychopath, but that shit wasn't difficult for me, man. Like that shit wasn't. I mean, like, I get what you're saying. Like, I understand that people made the decision not to do it or didn't make the decision to do it, but I can't resonate with it, man. Like, yo, man, right before I went to college, man, I was with some of my boys from Chicago, and we didn't go to the same high school. I got sent to military school because I got in some trouble, but that's actually where I cleaned like my shit up, you know. But they were still like, you know, in the neighborhood, and they weren't going to school and no shit. They were gonna do who knows what after high school, right? They didn't really have plans and shit. So we went to a party, and then we ended up getting into a fight. Well, one of my boys, he got into this dude, and I, you know, friend, I defend him, you know, I'm there. We all fight, and then next thing you know, we all got our ass whipped. We got our ass whipped, right? But I remember this one point, I was fighting like fucking 5 guys getting fucked up. And then I get back, like, I'm like, where my boys at, man? And some of these dudes were at the fucking car, man, waiting. Like, they had ran. They didn't, you know, some of them dudes that ran. And meanwhile, I had to go to the fucking hospital, man, to get my face stitched up, you know, lips stitched up, inside, outside. I was all fucked up. Like, I had to go to the emergency room. The motherfuckers put me in the emergency room. Wow. And I was like, man, you know what? Maybe I should stop kicking it with these dudes. And as I did, I never saw him again. You know what I'm saying? I just never saw him again, ever, not once, you know. And my life is better as a result, man. Like, and it's always like that. But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Does it apply to women too? Because I think it does, man. I think it does. I think no, seriously. I think you ever seen a guy, he's got his shit together, and then he gets with some chick, and the chick fucks his whole shit up, man. You know, she probably wasn't, you know. I mean, even guys like us who do this shit, who like the girl was still fucking. You got to be careful about who you choose, man. Like, I think. But what are your thoughts,
dude? Here's the thing, right? Who, as a guy, who affects you more? Mm-hmm. Attractive women or your boys? Honestly, like on an emotional level, who affects you more?
Girls.
For most people, it's girls. Most dudes, it's going to be girls.
Yeah.
So the answer is yeah. Of course, it's maybe even more important. Like here's the thing. So this should probably be valuable and interesting for everyone listening here. So
nobody talks about this, man. This is new ground we're covering. I've never heard no one talk about this in our circles. Have you? I haven't.
I have a course on it actually a little bit.
Okay. Except for that fucking long ass course that Jason has, no one's ever talked about it before.
Let's sum it up right now because there's only key things, only two things actually. So when I was learning game, the thing everyone told you to do, this is 8-9 years ago, was cold approach. That's game, right? That's PUA. Approach. Numbers game. Like there's advice that was like approach 100 women a day. That's how you're gonna get good at it. And I committed to it for 4 years, and I got really fucking good. I could cold approach almost any chick, day or night. It didn't matter. And 8 times out of 10, I was going to get a phone number, and a large percentage of those I would turn into I'd see them in person and take them home and do all kinds of stuff. And the problem was that as you cold approach, you are judging women solely on one factor and one factor only, on the cold approach. Exactly. How they look physically, right? So I would approach girl after girl after girl and meet them, and then I'd get the number. And then this is before social media, right? So you meet them up, you take them out, and I'd be sitting there. We'd be at a bar, we'd be bowling, and my whole move. I used to take them to dudes would take me to dinners, and I would take them to this park that was a block away from my house, where it was like a swing set and like monkey bars. I just play in the park. That worked just fine. But we'd take them there. We'd be hanging out there, and they would just start talking. And the things they would say, not stupid. I'm not going to say it was stupid. I'm going to say it was scarcity minded. I'm going to say it was judgmental. I'm going to say it was negative. It was complaining based. It was victim based. It was all the mentalities you don't want in your environment. And it took, I recognized this early on, but it took me a couple of years to really trust my own instincts over what everyone was telling me. But when I finally did, I made the switch. And that was a key reason why I made my own strategic switch in my own life from all the girls I meet are cold approach to now, for the last almost 5 years now, it's all social circle. That's all I do is social circle. And I don't just do it for game. Social circle is for everything. It's for connecting with high value people, with millionaires, with authors, with experts, with scientists, with everyone I want to connect with. It's all done through social circle. And the key thing with social circle and women is that if you only surround yourself with high value friends, high value people, and they bring their friends to a group, to a dinner, to a party, to whatever, they're not bringing low-value, scarcity-minded girls with them. If those people are friends with them, they're going to be high-value, high-status people too. So it filters the filth away from you, so you only get the gold. And the key thing for that is because if you keep fucking scarcity-minded women around you, it will crush your confidence. It will kill your bank account. It will sap your energy. You won't want to work. It's so important, man. And the key things you want to look out for is one, you don't watch out for a scarcity mentality and the victim mentality. Those are the two ones. So man, if you're trying to build wealth, okay, here's a fun little litmus test you can do for yourself. You can go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and say how much money you think you deserve to make a year. Just say the number to the mirror. And when you hit the number where you can't keep a straight face anymore, where you can't say relax anymore, that's your internal limit right now. You'll see. You'll see.
This is deep. This is some deep shit right here.
It's interesting.
Most people might not know, but but motherfucking Jason is almost a fucking genius. He's like a little genius, you know. Continue.
It's true because if your internal set point is you keep telling yourself I want to make 500 grand a year, let's say. But your internal set point, your inner self-image, your inner standard is you're the kind of person who only deserves to make 80K a year. You're going to go in that mirror and you're going to be like 80 grand a year. And you're going to be totally relaxed. And then you're going to be like 200 grand a year. And your voice is going to change. You're going to feel a little motion pop up, a little resistance, man. And that's your sign, man. You know that limit. So the thing is, moving aside from that, if you're trying to build wealth, you're trying to just become wealthier in your life, man, you need to get around people who see, I don't know, a $500 dinner as nothing. You need to get around people who see fucking $5 million house as like a second home, like it's nothing. Yeah. Because every time you hang around those people and you see how they feel and think and talk about money, their mindset rewires your brain and it becomes your mindset about money.
It becomes more real.
Yes, and only when you can, like, when you can touch $100 grand and just drop it and be like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you need to have that type of abundance in your mentality towards money if you're gonna be able to close clients for that much money, if you're gonna be able to sign deals for that much money, if you're gonna be able to make that much money. Like, you have to, it has to be no big deal. So if you're dating a girl with a scarcity mentality and you go to dinner and you had a nice meal and you want to get the Wagyu beef, right? That 8-ounce beef that costs like $200 because it came from a cow in Shanghai who was massaged by like an NLP certified masseuse or whatever, right? Like, the most expensive. If you want to order it and you say to the waiter, you're like, that's what I want. And she looks at you or she kicks you under the table and she's like, no, we can't have that. That's too expensive. Boom! Right there, she has blocked your wealth creating abilities. She is knocking your shit off, knocking your shit down. You want to be with the chick who, after you order it, she's like, great. I want to try it. This sounds great. I want to do this. I want to try that. I want to go here. Like, you want that type of girl around you, not someone. And she should value money, right? And
she shouldn't be blowing it like that. We're not saying like you're going around blowing money, living above your means, you know, or like putting yourself in precarious situations.
She needs to value money. She needs to value the work ethic that goes into making money, and that's another thing. She needs to recognize and respect work ethic. Right, because a lot of girls, especially the ones who have their eyes on fucking Instagram and that's all they see all day, right? And they see like one dude, like they see like, let's say they see Dan, right, Bilzerian, and they see the yachts and they see the private jets and stuff, and then they're dating a guy who's got like some money, but he's trying to make a lot of money. Like, if she doesn't get work ethic, if she doesn't get that, it's a process. It takes years to build up to that level. She's going to look at you and look at Dan and be like, man, what's wrong with you? He's already got it. Why don't you got it?
What's wrong with you, man? Yeah.
And that's, listen, you need a chick who's like, listen, that's great, but like, you're going to do even better than him. And I understand that, you know, on Saturday nights, a lot of times we're going to be here working at home and not going out because we're building a fucking empire together. And she respects that. And she acknowledges that. And she recognizes that's the kind of chick you need. I'm just like, do you realize how inflating that can be if you have that kind of chick around you, and how deflating it is if you have the opposite rolling with you?
I don't think it's possible with the opposite. You know what? It's something you said, man. Get around the people who have that what you want, or have that these things that you're. That was the reason I gave Elliot that box of cigars, because I'm like, oh man, if he can be successful, I can too. You know, it was encouraging. As for some people with more of a scarcity mindset, might have got jealous. I mean, and this is not bullshit. This is not. We're saying it's not like some hokey pocus, the secret shit. Like, this is like before somebody ran a 4-minute mile, no one did it. Then someone did it, and they're like, oh shit, you can do that? And then people's minds change. And now it's fucking normal now, right?
Yeah.
For example, let me just tell you something, man. Like, I told you I grew up in Chicago, and living up. I'm from the South Side. Growing up in these areas, it really feels like there's no hope, right? Like, that's the worst part. Like, if you could feel it, like you feel it's hopeless. That's why people will rob, kill, join gangs, fight, because it doesn't matter, right? They don't see a compelling future on the horizon. But when I went to military school, I had a roommate. I was there on some sort of, must have been like some affirmative action type scholarships. I was the only like poor kid there, and these kids were rich. And my roommate, I went to his house, man. He lived in a mansion, and he had some horses and shit, man. His dad had a bunch of cars, and he was like a legit millionaire. And I was like, oh shit, this is real. It's not just the TV. And like just having experienced it once, it said, man, maybe I'll start fucking trying in high school. And then I went to college, and shit like, and this neighborhood I live in. I live in a fancy ass neighborhood in Queens, man. This is where fucking Trump grew up, in Queens. It's not like, there's like, sometimes people see it on Snapchat on the weekends. I might be walking through these. It's like $5, $10, $15 million houses over across the tracks, that train here across that tracks. And I needed to be by that, man. And I walked and I do my cardio. I go through there all the time, man, because just to make it more real, man, just to make it more real. And when I moved here, I couldn't really afford it. I mean, now I can afford it, right? But now I can afford it, right? Like, it's something about proximity and being around. I know you believe in that, but do you believe in like visualization or all that? Because I don't know how much I believe in visualization, but I definitely believe in or what I believe in being around other successful people and seeing it being in reality. I can feel it more. So maybe that is a sort of visualization. I don't know. What's your take?
Yeah, well, so I mean, I call it the law of environmental exposure. Like you have to, you got to get exposed to those things. I'll tell you a couple stories about this because, like, I'm not a big fan of visualization. I personally, I don't use it at all. I think it's much better to just be fully fucking present all the time and not in your head, and just be fully engaged in the moment, and that's going to bring the best you out no matter what. And here's the other thing, like when you have to get, and when I say environmental exposure, it's exactly like you're saying, Brandon, you got to get it in real life. You got to be, like, you got to see it. Because here's the thing, visualization, how many senses are we activating? Just one, just sight, right? And it's not even, it's your inner eye. It's not like your eyes, it's your inner eye. But when you see it in real life, you got sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. You got all your senses activated, right? Like Dan Pena, he has this thing where, so when he was in his early 20s, he just started selling real estate. That was the first thing he did in like this late 60s, early 70s or so. And he knew he wanted to make a lot of money, and he didn't feel that motivated a lot. And what he did was to force the motivation out of him, he would go to the Rolls-Royce dealership and just walk around and sit in the cars and in the leather. And he called it. He goes, I would smell the leather. He goes, it'd be like, I'd walk up to the seat and I'd be like he'd take a hit. He'd rack a line of a Rolls Royce. That's what he would do. Like, and he goes, it's like, it became a part of him, man. Your olfactory, your sense of smell is like crazy powerful. So he smelled the leather, and that's what he tells people to do. He goes, you want to get motivated in a certain way? You want to make money? Go to a Rolls Royce dealership, a Ferrari, a Lambo. Smell the leather. You want to get better with women? Go to places where at first don't put all this pressure on yourself. Like if you suck with women and you want to start dating 9s and 10s and start like hanging out with those kinds of girls, don't go to a club one night expecting to leave with like a stunner, and then when you don't get her that first night, feel bad about yourself. Like go that first night as just as an observer, as a detective, just to be in that environment and see, like you said, that it's possible. And you see other guys hanging out with them and like it's no big deal. That's what you need to do, because then it drills it into your brain that, holy shit, if he could do it, why can't I do it? You know, like that's the key. So like when I was building my online business, my dating company, which is my previous company, I'm 24 years old. It's going pretty well. I was after like all the overhead and stuff, I was taking home about $30,000 a month. I'm 24, and I'm like, this is good, right? I'm happy with this. I actually contemplated just like automating that business and then just doing like living at hostels, doing nothing else. Like I thought about that for a second.
You were at the 4-hour work week or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I work my ass off, dude, but I'm really fucking good at chilling. Like I could just chill. Like it's a talent of mine. I can just chill all day and do nothing and be cool. Like so, it's always tempting for me, man.
I admire that, man. I admire that. I'm more manic. Like I can't chill. Like it's not.
You gotta be doing something.
I wish I would. I wish I could. It's something I'm working on. Like trying to, like sitting down and meditate is like, it's almost grueling to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
By the way, what you, if that's something you want to work on, I would definitely invite you.
Get high.
Not to sit that way. Like, listen, I'm from California. It's my advice always, right? But the other thing is, man, people who have never meditated or just have a lot of like frenetic energy, like you, where you just want to do shit. Sitting down and trying to meditate, just close your eyes and observe your thoughts and be a witness. Like that's not going to work. You got too much shit going on, and you've been doing it. You're too conditioned. You've been doing it for too long, right? So you need to, like Osho would talk about, where you need to express all that attention, all those ideas physically, and then you sit down after when you're like, dude, if you ever ran like 4 miles as fast as you can, when you're done, what do you want to do? You
want to sit down. Then it's time to chill.
And you're exhausted, and you're not thinking fast. You lay down, you're like enlightened in that moment. You're just at peace. So like it's what Elliot would tell you, right? It's the bioenergetics.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever done it. I'll give it a shot.
I've done it with him in London once, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. You know, like, so I don't know if that's for me. I don't mind like the Vipassana, like I don't mind it. Just start once I'm in it, I can do it. Just starting it. So maybe doing something physical first. Maybe that is the key. Like that is
try, like even try like do what I do. So I meditate every morning 20 minutes. What I do is I'll do a variety of things. Sometimes I'll do active or bioenergetics, but if I just want to like sit down and meditate, I'll just take the first 5 minutes and I'll just go fucking crazy. Osho used to say anyone who lives in modern society needs to find a safe, quiet place every day and just go fucking crazy for 15 minutes a day. Everyone deserves that for themselves. So I just go 5 minutes, and it's crazy. You want to scream, yell, kick, laugh, dance, sing, convulse, have a seizure, whatever you got to do. And then you just, 15 minutes, you just hit the ground, you just chill.
Man, I feel like we're bouncing all over topics, and I like that. What have you gained from meditation? You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I think it's off the fucking wanted list. But like, what have you got from it?
Oh man, so I naturally, if I'm not careful, if I don't take care of myself, I get a lot of thoughts where I can't control my thoughts. I wouldn't say I have OCD, but I have the ability to get locked on a thought and just stay there all day and like not be present. I get stuck in my head.
I can do that.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's usually thoughts about like revenge and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or like usually like if somebody does some shit, man, I cannot stop thinking about it. You know?
Yeah. It's honestly, it's any thought that has emotion wrapped in with it, like some heavier thought, not a light thought like, oh, cheeseburger or chicken tenders today, like a heavy thought, right?
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I didn't know how to deal with that as well. It would just sit there, and it would always like be in the back of my mind, and I didn't feel calm. I didn't feel relaxed. I felt like dread, like something bad was going to happen. And when I started meditating, you build up this muscle where it's like you take full fucking control of your thoughts, of your mind. And now if any negative thoughts come up, I have this power. It's like a muscle I didn't have before. Yeah. I just squash it. It just disappears. I just tell it to go away and it's gone. Like, that's huge, man. The other thing is
big.
That should be enough on its own, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
But the other part is just, it makes you fucking smarter. It makes you sharper. It makes you clearer. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I put like my morning ritual, it's literally everything else. My morning ritual is sometimes there, sometimes not. Meditation is the only thing that's always there, and I'll never not do it.
That's all. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. I probably do 10 minutes, but you making me want to take it to 20, man. You know what? This is where it's helpful for me. It's really similar. You know, I think there's been times in my life I've been like depressed, like legit depressed, like on some like above average, like, you know, I've thought about fucking suicide before in life, you know, and I think it's hereditary. My father committed suicide when I was like in my 20s. And I would imagine, you know, he wasn't diagnosed, but we're pretty similar people. And it helps with that, right? Because what I've come to understand is, this is my philosophy. I'd like to get your take on this, man, because you're a smart dude whose opinion I value. I believe that after fucking food, shelter is taken care of, and like you're not in physical pain, I think every other fucking problem you have or think you have is all psychological. Like it's all fucking mental, right? Like it's all mental, which is a synonym for fucking pretend. Like it's not really real. It's just like something that's going on in your brain, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like emotions. I got to steer the emotions are not necessarily real. They're just physically, they're not real. It's shit that's happening literally in your head, right? And they can change based off how you focus or what you focus on. And it helps. Meditation helps me decide what to focus on a little bit. Does any of that make any fucking sense?
That makes 100% sense. Yeah, man. I agree. I mean, you're spot on. That's exactly right. Like we as human beings, like we are deletion creatures, meaning like the number one thing of our brain before everything else, like in terms of survival, is it's constantly deleting everything in our environment because we can only balance usually like 5 to 9 bits of information at a single time. So even where I am right now, there's like hundreds of books over here. There's a painting there. signs here. There's shit everywhere. My phone, my water. I got a pillow here. Like, there's all this stuff going on in here, but I can't focus on each thing because you go crazy, right? So our brain has to delete all this other stuff in the environment and only focus on a few things. So meditation, like, yeah, it's about focus, right? You can focus on shit that makes you depressed or shit that makes you excited, shit that makes you frustrated or shit that makes you feel bold and powerful and courageous. Like, and when you're focusing on one, here's the key point, you're at the same time deleting the other ones, right? So it's so key that you're able to do that. And again, I didn't have that power back in the day through meditation. Now I do. And it's insanely powerful, man. I really recommend it for everybody out there.
Yo, I got this. You know what has helped, man? Can I find this shit? Hold on, I'm gonna show you something. I don't know if this is bullshit or not, but it's the first thing that's actually motivated me to want to meditate. Hold on. I mean, aside from the benefits, right? Like, it's just something I would force myself to do, like eating your vegetables, like you talk about, like you don't like it. But this shit, man, one of my mentors told me, I don't know if this is bullshit or not, but it's supposed to measure your brain waves, and it can tell when you're calm. It's like some biotech bullshit. Listen, it might be bullshit. It might just be placebo. It just tells you how focused you are, right? And you can turn it into a game. I don't even know or care if it's legit or not. I just know it gets me excited about meditation. If any of y'all need a fucking weird push, it's called Muse.
So when you use it, it tells you like what brainwaves you were in when you were doing it?
Okay, it doesn't get that it's a consumer grade product, right? So it's not going to tell you, beta, alpha, theta, all that shit. It just says it plays like you can pick what song to play, like what backgrounds. I always pick like a storm, a tropical storm, or a beach. And when you lose focus, what it does is it gets louder and like rougher, like the weather gets more intense. And then that's kind of like a cue to, hey, bring your focus back. You know what I'm saying? And then like when your brain, then you focus again, it gets calm. Man. That might be fucking bullshit. It might be set. As far as I know, it can be set to go off at random times, right? Yeah. Based on how much you use it, right? I don't even care, right? Because the placebo effect is real, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, placebo is real.
Perception is reality.
It's 100%, and it's also like there's this old quote from Peter Drucker that I love, where he said, "What gets measured gets accomplished."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's like if you turn meditation into a game, like that thing you're talking about there, you're getting measurement, you're getting feedback, which like that feedback is so important. If there's anyone out there who's trying to work on a certain skill, acquire a new skill, get better with women, get more money, work on your job, whatever it is, and you find yourself where you don't have the motivation to keep following through with all of it, man, find a way to turn it into a game where you're measuring, you're scoring yourself in some way, and you're getting constant feedback. It's a switch for your motivation. It happens instantly, and you start feeling more motivated. You want to push through. Like Brandon, like I'm not going to say what it was for, but I remember you telling me, like, yo, tell me what the best number that someone's done at this thing yet. And so far, so I have something to beat now. And you already know that motivates you.
Oh, that motivates me too, because now I'm competing with myself. I'm like, all right, can I do better than last time? Can I do better than the time before? Am I getting better or getting worse? Because and that works well for me. I would imagine for most guys, right? Especially like because the testosterone makes you competitive. If you can gamify things and making them into games, they become more addictive. They talk about that in certain books too. I think a Contagious book. They mentioned that those books on how to make things go viral, can turn them into games. That's how like airlines work. With the point system. Like you reach different levels, the more miles you get, and now I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to get this diamond platinum membership. Like now I'm taking flights I don't need to take the shit. Because you turn it into a game. Yeah.
Exactly. You just want to beat the game. That's exactly right. So so you can use that. I got to get out of here in a few minutes, bro. But I want to finish that story I was talking about because I think
for sure
it should help someone. I'm sure there's a bunch of stories we opened and we didn't close yet, but I want to close.
Yeah, we didn't answer any questions, but whatever, fuck it. Listen, I love you guys. You know what I'm saying, man? We fuck with you guys, man. So sorry. 100%. We just
maybe we'll do this again in the future or something.
For sure. This was fun. Yeah.
So So I'm 24. I'm making 30 grand a month, and that's good money for me. That's the most money I ever made in my life, and I'm tempted to just chill. And there was this dude who was visiting. I was living in Santa Monica at the time. There's this dude who visits Santa Monica. His name's Brian Moran. He owns a company called Sam Cart, and he had a company called Get 10K Fans back in the day. He was a couple of years older than me, successful business guy. He's 30 now, and he's a millionaire. And at the time, we meet up because I'd met him before. And Lewis Howes, you know Lewis?
Yeah, I know Lewis.
Okay, so Lewis was there also. So it's the three of us, and we just like rented a co-work space or whatever. And we're all just like shooting the shit and masterminding and helping each other. And I was by far the least successful person in the group at the time. Again, I'm hanging out with guys who are better than me.
Yeah.
And I'm telling them, here's what I'm doing with my business. I'm trying to get to 100 grand a month. That's where I want to go. I don't know how to get there, right? I'm here. I want to get there. I want to do that.
That's a milestone. When you get there, it's like you feel like everyone sets that goal. Yeah.
Dude, I had a ridiculous celebration I threw for myself when I hit that number. It was,
I just set another goal. I just set another goal. Yeah, I got problems, man. I got psychological problems.
We got to get you celebrated, Brandon, a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't celebrate my birthday either. I don't know if you know that about me. Like, I don't celebrate my birthday. That's another story.
I don't either. That's funny. Yeah.
Birthdays are for women, right?
I mean, dude, like, you didn't accomplish anything. Like, your mom's the one who went through shit, not you. What do you celebrate?
That's what I always say. Oh, you went this whole year without dying. Good job, asshole. Homeless people do that shit every year, man. What the fuck?
Exactly. That's exactly same wavelength, man. So I'm telling them this. I'm being vulnerable. I'm like, here's where I'm at. I want to go here. I got no idea. And Brian's like, do you want me to like Brian at the time? He's like, all right, well, I make 150 grand a month. So you want me to show you what we do? I'm like, yeah, I want to see it. So he pulls out a fucking marker and a whiteboard. And he goes, just take 5 minutes. And he just draws up one thing on this whiteboard. And all it is his promotional calendar for his client base and his customers. Meaning every month, this is our promotional cycle that we do with products and launches and affiliates and all this stuff. And it was the most simple, elegant solution I'd ever seen when it came to marketing.
You just had a schedule.
That was it. I didn't have that. I was just like doing shit. He was like, no, you need a schedule. So he gives it to me. And it's put it this way, it's still good. It's so good that I still use most of it today, 5 years later. And I just took the idea. I put it into action. Here's the thing. Here's another key thing. I didn't act smart. I acted stupid. Meaning I didn't get his plan and be like, oh, that's good. What if I change this and add this? And I bet to do even better. No. Jason, you make 1/5 of him. So shut the fuck up and do what he says, which is what I did. I was stupid enough to do that, right? And I put it into action. And 3 months later, I was making 100 grand a month. It was like that. So,
all right, tell me more about it. Wait a minute. I know you got to go, but if you could explain this strategy a little bit. Is it just focusing on one thing, or was it strategic? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So I'll tell you guys what it is exactly. So, and the whole point of that story, by the way, is getting around people better than you, that environmental exposure. Right?
No, because you pick up shit, man. Like this, you pick up shit. Like Elliot told me something that day I met him the first day. And the next month I made 10 grand off the one sentence that he forgot he said to me. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's the $10,000 sentence. That's it. Right?
Yo, $10,000 sentence. So I'm like, all right, yeah.
It's a good goddamn sentence. So here's the calendar. This is it. He wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So it's a 4-week cycle. And week 1 and week 3, he wrote BC. Not Brandon Carter. It meant broadcast. All right. And what that meant is weeks 1 and week 3, he calls it a broadcast week with his customers. So if you run a brick and mortar, if you have an online business, you have a blog, you use this 100, it doesn't matter if it's online or offline. But by broadcast week, what he meant is I broadcast value to my customers. So we got call to actions. Yeah, we're offering products and services, but it's not the focal point. It's like the side dish. The entree is just steak and lobster and mac and cheese and salmon. I'm just giving value. I'm teaching. I'm helping. I'm sharing stories. And I'm building up that goodwill bank. I'm building reciprocity.
Got it.
So that's week 1 and week 3. And then week 2, he wrote launch. And that meant every second week of this cycle, he launched a new product to his customer base and his prospects.
A new cycle, a new product every
So every month he was doing a new launch.
Man, that's I did that for a while. It's chaotic. It can be chaotic.
It can. Although like when I started modeling that and I started using it, we systematized it. So like
if you have a system,
it's just a system, yeah. And it's like at this point we could pimp out a new one every week if we needed to with ease. It won't be that difficult. So that's week 2 is launch, and then week 4 he wrote IP. He is in Paris or affiliate. And what that meant is the 4th week is either IP and internal promo. So you take a product that you already have and you push it out on a flash sale, or you add bonuses to it with a deadline and a timer, something like that. Or you just do a big push for an affiliate that week also. And he goes, when you look at it all together, just look at the structure. So the first week you build up the goodwill. The second week, everyone's excited. They love you. You launch a new product. It goes great. That third week, now that you sold all of last week, you go back to value and helping them and growing them and reciprocity. And then that 4th week, now you build up that goodwill again. You go right back to an internal promo, just like a launch, or you push an affiliate product that you really believe in and you work it that way. And then it just repeats. And it's just so simple. And man, that took me myself from 30 to 250 or 300 grand a month when I was like 25, 26. I just did that for like 30 months straight. So man, it was like Brian, if you ever see this dude, thank you. That was like
Brian's probably watching. No, that's cool, man. But you still don't use Sam card, so that's cool.
Use samcard.com.
No, Samcard is dope. I'm just so just like you, I'm so integrated in the ClickFunnels that it would just be weird for me to make it. Well, I use it for some shit. I have it. I use it like I did a webinar with an affiliate, and it was simpler for Samcard for him to
it's. I mean, dude, yeah, it's like
it's a badass software. Elliot uses it.
Does he?
Sometimes I've seen some. I'm always trying to swipe his shit, man. So like I see everything he does.
That's all right, because he's busy swiping me, so we're all good.
That's my dog.
Yeah.
For real, man. Like that's a beautiful story, man. And it's funny to see that all 3 of y'all dudes are like so successful right now. Like Sam Carter is crushing it. Lewis Howes, of course, New York Times bestseller. And his podcast is everything. You, man, you know what I'm saying? Fucking, what did Bezos call you, man? The most influential man on fucking planet in the VSL or something like that.
Top 10. Yeah.
Yo, man, but like, I'm not debating it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not debating it. It's like that, man. Like, so first, I have a real big goal of mine. I want to be a best-selling author. I got an agent or shopping books there, and I became friends with some best-selling authors. In knowing I'm setting this goal for myself, not even to get anything from them. I mean, I'm sure like there'll be ways we can work together, but it was just to get that. It's real, man. If none of my friends are best-selling authors, if I don't know anybody who's done it or hit the New York Times bestseller list. How real is that to me? How real is that to me? So I became friends with Lewis. Me and Lewis are cool. I'm cool with Ryan Holiday. He might be helping with some of the marketing if I cut the check. But he definitely helped a little bit. Mark Manson is like my buddy, man. Like in New York, he's like a good friend of mine. And awesome. But it was all like,
yeah.
I don't want to say I wanted to be friends with him just to get something because I haven't asked any of them for anything. I just wanted to feel that, you know what I'm saying? To feel and you
needed to fucking you got to drink from the cup to know it's real. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, yo, just give me a sip. Let me just taste it so I know I can do it too. That's it.
Yeah. No, I mean, but an additional benefit I got was they gave me advice. They've been giving me advice along the way, this journey, things to watch out for, stuff, because they've already walked the path. And that's been my whole relationship with Elliot. Like, he's somebody who, that's nothing but not outshining the master. Just last, I know you gotta go, but I never, like, some people want to beat their mentors or they want to beat the guy who helped them, and I don't want to beat Elliot. Like, I want him to always stay ahead of me because pioneers get the arrows, and but he clears the path. fast. Like, hey, like if I go through something weird, he's already been there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, dude, you're exactly right. That's the right mentality. Like, I know with my mentors and my coaches and all those people, I always try and one thing I always do is I always give credit where credit is due. If I learn something from them, I always say their name. I always want to like give the spotlight to them as well. But I want them to keep pushing ahead too. I don't see it as it's either me or them. I'm like, I want all of us on that top part of the stage with the gold medals all around our neck. There's gold medals enough for all of us, man. Like it's the whole thing. Like when you're learning game, like yo, you don't need to compete over the girl. You can both have the girl. Like there's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody. Man. I want everyone to see it.
It's a team, man. Like it's like, I always. Man, I try to tell people that like young guys have a hard time with that, because they got something to prove. Maybe people don't I don't feel like I had something. I mean, I got shit I want to prove to myself, but I'm pretty confident. I think less confident. It's more difficult it is for you to adapt that frame of someone could be equal to me or better than me, and that'd be okay, I think,
I mean, dude, every time I meet someone who's better than me, which used to happen more often, I'll say that. But even when I do now, I get excited because I'm like new milestone for me. Like new shit to learn. I want to grow more than I want to prove. Like I just want to. This is great. I'm going to learn something new. I'm excited when that happens.
Especially when you get to our level, it's like it's hard to find advice for like intermediate to advanced or whatever. Like wherever you consider yourself on that scale. Like and it's all relative, right? So but like once you get past the beginner, it's hard to find like good advice on marketing, business, or success, right? It's because most of the shit is like what I call consumer grade advice. But advice for the fucking buff who's already crushing it to get to the next level, you can only find that in person, man. I think
100%. And the other thing you gotta remember, and I got to get out of here after this, my man. I wish I could say.
It's all good, man. Yeah. We're gonna do this again. I'll sit and talk with you the whole time, man.
All day, man. Yeah. But it's with those people, you are all like, because they're so successful, because you're already at a high level. So you're going to find somebody to teach you shit. They're going to be super successful. You are always going to have to pay to play when it comes to work with them. Not because their head's so big and they're such a big shot. It's because, man, your time is valuable. And guess what? Their time is valuable. So for them to even take half an hour to take away from their business, that's an opportunity cost lost to go work with you and teach you or help you, give you specific advice. That's expensive, right? If you're trying to go from like 7 figures to 8 figures and you get a mentor who's an 8-figure guy, guess what? His time is worth at least $3,000 an hour. Just because if he was working on his business, that's what he'd be making. So if you want an hour of his time, at minimum, you got to pay 3. In fact, you're probably gonna have to pay more because not only is he losing $3,000, but he's sharing his fucking secrets with you, which took many years to learn.
A lot more than $300,000 an hour for him to make it.
Yeah, and that's how the world works. So, you just prepare for that, and you keep. And that's the other part is networking and connecting because, like for instance, in my mastermind, we have a meeting coming up next month, and I want to get Robert Greene to come speak at it. Right? And I can go 2 ways about it. I can contact him or have my assistant contact him and talk to his people and give him a certain – because I'm going to pay him to come 100%. He's an expensive dude, right? I'm going to pay him to come. But I didn't have my assistant contact his people. I reached out to my network, found someone who's good friends with him, and now we're getting an introduction. So I might get the friend rate. I might not have to pay. I'm happy to pay. But now, even when we meet, there's that high status introduction. It changes the whole game. So there's a lot of.
You could have asked me, man. I know Robert. I swear to God.
There you go.
I don't know him like that, though. I don't know him like that. I mean, I know him enough to ask. I know enough to accomplish what you wanted, but I'm not fucking with you, but you already got it.
All right, well, I'll keep that in mind for the next time.
Yo, man, that's awesome, man. And man, you gotta pay to play, man. Like, but this one was free because y'all bought the high status. Bro, yo, man, just on that last note, I just paid a motherfucker. He $40,000 to come spend 2 days in my office, us organizing all our shit, all our products, all our systems, doing the email to us in real life, and then but like systematizing so everything. I could talk to you about that $40,000 because he did the same for ClickFunnels. and after that, ClickFunnels went from 3 million to 10 million. Now they're doing 100 million. So like he came recommended by Russell, and so but anyway, you got to pay the players. What I'm trying to say,
100%.
Yeah, man. Cool. All right, y'all. I hope this shit has been real. I hope y'all feel it, man. Listen, Jason, thank you so much. I think this was a good one. I think it's good. We got to do this again somehow in some capacity.
Dude, 100%. I'm gonna text you after this. We'll set a date for something.
All right, for sure, man.
Right.
Peace.
For sure. Everyone take care.